Hi, thank you. My name is Mia Perry. I'm a senior lecturer here at the School of Education, the University of Glasgow, and my role today is to welcome you here to this amazing, delightful, light, spacious, airy room. I am a part of a research and teaching group here at the University, at the School of Education, that's called Social Justice, Place and Lifelong Learning. And the manifestation of that group is in a research centre called Cradle, which is the reason that we're co-hosting the event. And Cradle is the Centre for Research and Development in Adult and Lifelong Learning. It's an open research centre in that its membership is open to anybody from anywhere. And so I encourage you to have a look at Cradle online, and there's a very easy process by which you can become a member. And typically inside or outside academia, in all different sectors we have membership, and it gives you access to resources and blogs and events and forums. And the last component of that, relevant I think to today, is that Cradle also is affiliated with a network called Pascal, the Pascal Observatory, that's what it's called. And Pascal is a different sort of level from Cradle in that Pascal works on a city level with policy, governance, as well as research and training. And the network is international, and again, the network coordinates and hosts events and resources. And so that's the reason that I'm here. I'm actually very new to all three groups. I've only been here for 6 months, so I know the whole sum of 2 people in this room. But it is my great honor to welcome you to this event today, and I feel really privileged to be here and probably learn 100 times more than most of you, because you probably already know more than me. Can I hand over to John from Education Scotland?
Hello everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Galt. I work for Education Scotland in the Community Learning and Development team, and along with me I'd like to welcome you to our session today. We believe it's the UN International Day of Democracy Day today, so we thought it was a good day to choose to have the second in a series of sessions that we're holding called Learning for Democracy. Sessions are being organised by a number of partners, including Learning Link Scotland, Workers' Educational Association, Edinburgh University, and obviously Cradle, and the Scottish Community Development Network have been involved as well. So a really good partnership. We don't have any money to do this stuff. It's all been done kind of with goodwill and working together. So we're really grateful to Cradle for providing us with the accommodation today. The aims for these sessions are there. You know, we came together as a group probably towards the end of last year, and we were doing that at a time when obviously a lot of the organisations have been involved have been steeped in political education for many years. Jim Crowther, who's here from Edinburgh University, him and his team, it's been a key focus for a lot of the work they've done. Obviously WA and Learning Link heavily involved in this kind of work for a long time as well. But we could very much say that the last couple of years in Scotland and the UK has been a time of great political change, political turmoil. I think when we were coming together last year, we were thinking about the implications of the follow-on from the referendum in Scotland and the run-up to Scottish elections, and trying to get to grips with how community learning and development workers were engaging around all the issues that were coming out around those things, and how maybe we could help that. The other thing that was maybe there was Education Scotland about a year ago published a resource called You Decide, which was a political literacy resource, primarily aimed at teachers, but also I think relevant to community educators as well. But we were trying to take a kind of broader view on that, so just taking it broader than just maybe looking at the nuts and bolts of how our political system works, but looking at a broader look around democratic engagement and involvement. So those are our outcomes for these sessions, to make sure that CLD practitioners are involved in supporting political education and community participation. Provide some opportunities like this one to share ideas, share knowledge, and talk about some of the issues. And what we're doing is, as well as these sessions, we're also trying to set that up on iDevelop. which is the online resource for the CLD Standards Council, and we've got a page on there now with some of the resources from our earlier session, which we'll send you the link to, and we're going to be posting stuff from today on those pages as well, so hopefully that'll be a way of keeping the discussion going and sharing ideas and resources. The third one there is just that as a group of partners working together, we're keen to see more focus on this kind of work, and we're looking for opportunities to maybe see are there other projects, are there bits of funding maybe we can apply for to get some other bits of work going at a national level. So we're certainly going to be using the feedback and the information from days like this as kind of ammunition for that, if you like. You may remember when we invited you to come along, we asked you what you wanted to get out of today's session. It was one of the questions on the SurveyMonkey, and those are some of the kind of broad themes that people came back with. We've edited those obviously, but those are the kind of broad themes. So first of all, that idea that political education is more than just political literacy. It's how it links with that broader idea of participatory democracy and what is community learning and development's role in terms of working with young people, adults, communities in terms of supporting that. People are very interested to look at, in particular, how we develop practice with marginalised groups, encourage inclusion, and the last one there, I suppose, is a broad one for our sector, which is probably a kind of broad one that you could put for any session, around developing critical engagement with big issues at a time of great change, cutbacks, reforms, funding issues and so on. So those were the kind of broad areas that you told us you wanted to look at today, and hopefully we'll be able to touch on those in our discussions. If anybody was doing their homework before they came out, we sent you a link to a report that came out a year or so ago from Institute of Public Policy Research around political inequality. And those quotes up there, which I'm not going to read out, but you can read them as I'm talking, are their definition of political inequality. So we really do want to focus today about the issues in terms of unequal access to our democracy, if you like. So how that has an impact on how decisions are made, what decisions are made, who's involved in making them, and how they're kind of put into practice. So political inequality is more than just who votes and who doesn't vote, although that's clearly part of it. And people will probably know that research suggests that young people are, for example, are less likely to vote. There's other groups within our communities that are maybe less likely to vote. But it's more than that. It's also about that broader idea of political alienation, who's engaged in the process and who isn't. It's about who's represented in our public institutions. Do those institutions reflect our wider society, and what impact does that have on how decisions are made? It's about how decisions are made, opportunities for things like lobbying and influencing that maybe some groups in society have that others don't. It may be about how political parties work. So a couple of years ago it might have seemed quite reasonable to suggest that mass political parties were a thing of the past. Now over the last year or two that's changed in many ways, hasn't it? But what implication does that have? Is there equal involvement and equal access there? And I suppose one of the other big areas is the role of the media, and how are political debates framed, how are decisions reported, and do those again reflect every part of our society. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about political inequality, and that we do want to kind of focus on that today. That was really just to show that we know that community educators have been doing this stuff for years. This is not new, but I suppose what we're hoping to do is to provide some support and a greater focus round about it. So there are all sorts of ways that CLD practitioners are engaged around learning, around democracy. So our programme today, the feedback we got from our first session, which was at the Scottish Parliament back in February, and looking around, I know there was a few folk that were at that session. I think there was about 90 people there that day. It was a great day. The feedback that we got was people found it really useful to have a bit of input about some of the big issues. They particularly liked the idea of having both a Scottish perspective and an international perspective. I think last time we had somebody talking about the Canadian situation, for example. And people really like the idea of an opportunity to discuss issues, network with colleagues, find out what other people are doing. So we've tried to reproduce some of those things in our programme today. We've got a couple of inputs which I think you'll enjoy. First one from the Scottish Government, looking at the Fair of Scotland conversation, and the second one from Liam Kane from Glasgow University, again looking at that international perspective of Latin America and some of the work that he's been looking at there. So that's probably all I want to say at the moment, apart from, so remember I mentioned about iDevelop. That's the beginnings of our Learning for Democracy page on iDevelop. We'll send a link out to you all after today. And as I said, that's where we're going to try and build up resources and also get some online debate going. So for those of you who were at the event in February, if you go on there, you might find yourself on film there. I think there was at least a few people there who were sort of did some wee pieces to camera for us. So we'll hopefully continue to build the information on there. We also do have a Facebook page for the stuff here, and I think we sent that link out earlier on. The iDevelop pages, I think, are a more permanent place to put some of the stuff there, so we'll probably focus on that in terms of where the content goes. And if anybody's moved to tweet about today's session, we do have a hashtag, which I think was back in the first slide, if you don't mind, because I can't remember what it is. Okay, so hashtag L4Democ. So we used that a bit in the first session, and it worked quite well. So if anybody feels moved to tweet throughout the day, then please feel free. Okay, so on to our first presentation, and that's from Karen Armstrong. Karen's from the Scottish Government in the social justice team, and Karen's going to tell us a bit about the Fair of Scotland national conversation. Some of you might be aware that the Scottish Government launched a wide-ranging conversation last year, looking to engage with a broad cross-section of society, looking at what our priorities are in social justice and fairness. Karen and our team have been involved in that, and she's going to tell us a bit about the process, a bit about the feedback, and a bit about what comes next from that. And she's brought Paul Sloan, who's also on the team as well, who I think is here to chip in with some of the analysis stuff if any of the questions get too hard, maybe.